So, Luca, what is your outlook for the next 12 to 18 months for the Italian market?
Coming out from this conference, I think that if I would like to make a comment. What is different this year? It's been very challenging to run this conference in the last 3-4 years because the mood, of course, was completely negative, and we were trying to find, just before the conference, something to be used in order to give the expectation that something would change in the future. I remember last year we were talking a lot about the IPO, and to be honest, if I look at the situation now, it was not a solution. Now, for the first year this year, I've seen people talking about business deals. They didn't use the word crisis. That does not mean that the crisis does not exist, but that we have to live with the crisis. We have to live with this situation. This situation is a long-term situation, but in this situation there are deals. There are two kinds of deals. There are people there, they are trying to solve their financial issues, so refinancing, restructuring, finding, we will see people talking about mini bonds, alternative financing, and there are people that are trying to solve their industrial issue. There is a need to go abroad, and if you want to go abroad, you need to have cash to invest, or you need to enter into a joint venture with somebody else. What is clear now, for example, that people are looking to the Chinese market in a completely different way. They've seen in the past the Chinese market just as the possibility to have production facilities there and to import now here. Now it's clear that it's not a solution. There are companies that are coming back, taking home their industrial facility, but at the same time there are people that realize that going to that market is not just a matter of just a joint venture, just to find somebody that could help you to open the door. It's really to enter into a long-term relation. So I've seen, for example, in these years, in the last 12 months, for example, a lot of investors coming here and not just looking the opportunities. So not just looking the Italian market because there are good price due to our difficulties, but because there is a possibility to combine technology, know-how, management with financial resources from somebody else and somebody that knows very well other markets. So it seems that the situation is changing from just to address the crisis to enter into something more long-term.
And what is the perception of foreign investors of the Italian market? Has it changed? And maybe can you give an overview on the different sectors, industrial versus consumer?
I think that they realize every time they arrive in Italy, they realize that there are some peculiarities, and I don't think that I'm very happy that today, for example, I haven't heard the fact that this is a very complicated country. That the law here is very complicated. Everything is very flexible. That has been one of the main difficulties for foreign investors to deal with the Italian market. Once again, I don't think that this is the end of the story. We didn't solve the problems, but I think that the perception is that there are some people trying to work, let me say, in the environment, trying to change something. So I think that the people is giving some expectations, some possibility to look some changes. Of course, there are two kinds of investors here. The people, it's been very clear. One of the panelists told that you see, for example, investors from the Arabic countries coming here and try to find very good assets, real estate assets, trophy assets, and that way just to invest the money, to put the money on the safe assets with good price. But there are other people that are trying to combine the Italian know-how with different market opportunities. So that's, I think, is really what if we will be able to leverage this kind of, we are very strong. We have a very good reputation in terms of know-how, technology, also management. I think there was a good comment today talking about one company that even if it's owned by a French family, it remains an Italian company because it's an Italian brand with Italian management. The strategy starts from here. So the importance is not who is the shareholder. The importance is where the management. If the attitude is a local attitude going abroad instead of somebody that from abroad is trying to use just the facility here.
You touched upon real estate. We haven't seen that much in that sector. Where do you think the opportunity lies?
Well, probably it's not the right conference. There are other conferences talking about real estate, but I think that, first of all, when you are talking about infrastructure, I think there is a link with real estate, because if you are put in place the infrastructure, then there are something that you are touching something regarding real estate. You have to look once again what is happening in China. Every time they build an infrastructure, they build new city, new town. It's not the case, of course, here, but you have to change. If you want to put some very important infrastructure here, on the other side you have to also to deal with the real estate business. Okay. So I'm sure that there will be some influence. Saying that, once again, there are a lot of you can look the real estate business as, once again, a problem sitting mainly into the banks' financial statements, because they have the guarantee of money, of assets that they receive from their clients in troubles. And if you look in this way, it's just a problem that needs to be solved. We need to find the right price and send back to the market these assets. Otherwise, you can combine in a different way the assets. You have to create value. I think that there was an important strategy in the past year that probably have not been, let me say, properly managed. It was the idea to create a sort of new kind of services for the real estate. If you want, real estate does not mean just to build and sell. It's really to create services around the real estate to create value. I think that we need to create a lot of value, because there are a lot of real estate assets, and we need to find the solution. So once again, it's something that there are people, there are investors, there are management, they have good expertise in the sector, and is once again a sector in which you can create a value. What is clear that apart the possibility to find a good opportunity, that means to have a very cheap price for something, the only other possibility is to create value. The pre-packaged deals, I think that after 3, 4, 5 years of crisis have been ended. No? They've been on the market, and so now if you really want to do something more, you need to create the deals, create the value.